All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wichita State University's Applied Learning Employer Showcase. We are so grateful to have Mark Bankson with Ennovar on the call today. So I'll let him describe what Ennovar is all about and the applied learning opportunities that they have here in a little bit. But first, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about what we do here at the Shocker Career Accelerator at Wichita State. So we are everything you need for your career ready journey. So essentially, we have two goals. We want to help you build the skills to navigate your career ready journey, and we want to help you connect to industry partners like Mark and like Ennovar for applied learning opportunities so you can earn while you learn, get a paycheck in something related to your degree or something related to your long-term career interests while you go to school full time. So we think that's great. We think we do that at Wichita State better than anybody else. And we're super excited to share that with you and to help you connect with those industry partners. So we do it so well. Last year, we were able to help students participate in more than 9,000, nearly 10,000 different applied learning experience. They earned $33.2 million with nearly 700 employers, which is a big deal. And for a lot of students, if you can imagine working part-time year round, say 20 hours a week, 15, 20 hours a week, uh, earning 12, 15, $18 an hour or more, depending on the applied learning opportunity. That's potentially tens of thousands of dollars that you could earn over the course of 4 years while you're going to school at Wichita State. And that's bigger than a lot of scholarships students will receive. So, in addition to Ennovar, we work with all kinds of employer partners. So, including these are just a few. Some of these names might look familiar, but the reason we put these on here is because I simply just because they're names people recognize. We could have a list of, what was it, 700 plus employers essentially on this slide, but we can't fit them all on one slide. So I will exit out of the presentation and I'll let Mark kick us off. So, Mark, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself and tell us about Ennovar?
Yeah, let me get pop my slide up real quick so I can, I look crazy. How's that? Is that good?
That's good.
You see it? Okay. So yeah, thanks, Brian. Appreciate the introduction. Brian and I worked together for a few years, so it's always good to connect and hear about the career office and what everyone's
Hey,
doing.
Mark.
Some fun things. Hey, how's it going? So my name is Mark Bankson. I'm an account manager here at Ennovar at Wichita State University. And so we are obviously one of the applied learning labs here at Wichita State. We help students find applied learning opportunities on an everyday basis, right? So we're working with industry, trying to find some opportunities for students and hopefully give those students some paths forward and trying to figure out their career journeys a little bit as well. And so we see that we're a vital piece. Those numbers that Brian had, the 9,800 and the 691 employers, we're proud to be a part of that and be a place that students can go to find their applied learning opportunities on an everyday basis. So, real quick, I'll talk through just what we're going to cover today, what I'm going to cover here. I'm going to present hopefully for about 15 minutes or so, talk about what Ennovar is, right? Obviously, this is a unique piece of the university at Wichita State. We'll talk about what kind of work you'd be doing, could be doing at Ennovar, where our students work, so you get an idea of some organizations, some that Brian had up on the screen there. Basically, what would I learn while I work at Ennovar, and then how do I join Ennovar, or how do I get a job at Ennovar, and what are some of the next steps that I can do to get a position at Ennovar? So, always a real quick trivia question: does anyone know what Ennovar means, or the where it came from? Any ideas?
Drop the
Put
answers
it in
in
the
the
chat if
chat.
you want. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be very impressed if someone knows, but. It's always a fun little trivia question to start off, if anyone.
I'm going to give it 5 seconds.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Emily Hurd and Abraham
Yeah.
Lanke say innovation, innovate.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's the Latin or Spanish translation of innovate, right? So basically Innovar means innovate. And obviously, at Wichita State, you've at some point, I assume you're interested in Wichita State. You've heard about the innovation campus and some of the cool things going on here, and so we feel we're a big piece of that. And innovar is kind of a unique enough word to kind of go with innovation, and so that's kind of how we were founded. As Innovar, we were founded in around 2011, and we've been around for about 14 years. Really offering applied learning opportunities for students at every level, both undergrad and graduate. Oh no, try to get that there. Oh, there we go. So, what is Ennovar? So, Ennovar, Wichita State, obviously, will offer paid applied learning opportunities to students while they're going to school, right? So, our students are working year round at any given time. That's one unique thing that we do. So, we do have flexible schedules for students. Obviously, experience in a corporate work environment. So, our students are working hand in hand with some of your largest companies in Wichita in the area and really in the world as well. So collaboration with industry professionals on an everyday basis. Then obviously some access to industry contacts as well. I do want to point out the flexible schedules that we do offer to students, right? So our students on average work about 20 hours a week during the school year. If they want to move up to 40 hours a week during the summer, if there is an opportunity, we do allow that. But one thing we always note that our students that you are a student first. And whether you get involved in with Innovar and get an opportunity with Innovar at as a freshman or a fifth year senior, right? You're a student first, and so we make sure that while you're working with us, while you're working with an industry partner, that everyone is clear that as finals come up, as study times come up, as busy times come up in the school year, that there are opportunities that if you need to step back and take a semester off or take a week off or something like that, that is the number one thing that we want to always pay attention to and always have for our students. We talk about experience in any type of work environment. Our students are getting that real world experience. You can see the top left picture there. It's a couple of our students at an organization called Viga, about 45 minutes north of here in McPherson, Kansas, and they had a really cool opportunity there last summer. A couple of our students we do have at career fairs as well. So if you guys do come to Wichita State and come to Root Beer Kager here in a few weeks, or even the on-campus job fair, as school starts, we'll be there. You can talk to our students and talk about, what do you do, where do you work at, and things like that. And so a couple other things that we do. On an everyday basis, obviously training and support for our students. So we do as much training as we can with our students because you're in a space to learn. And so whether that be trainings by Innovar or trainings by your industry partner, will help you through that and kind of continue to help you develop some lifelong learning skills because that's kind of what we feel it's all about and really define what you want to do for a career and what better way to do that than getting access to industry and real world experience as well as that training. Oh, no. So, what kind of work do our students do? The biggest space that our students work in is the easiest way to describe it is a lot of the IT data area. Obviously, you can see the five kind of areas there: cybersecurity. We have students doing level one support work at Spirit Aerosystems in cybersecurity, software development. So we have students doing front end and back end as well. About 15 students doing that. IT support, we have a big chunk of students doing this. We help run IT support centers, and that's in-person IT support centers. So level one, two, and three, which is your basic IT needs. So think of maybe you are at a school, you had an IT office that if you had a laptop maybe or something, you would take it to, hey, I broke my space bar, right? I need it fixed. How would I fix that, right? So a couple corporations around town, our students are running those areas. And so that's roughly about probably 100 students working in certain areas across across Wichita and across the area. Data analytics, we have a few students working in this at a local employer. And then failure analysis, we have this as well. This is more of a engineering testing in some of the areas that we do have opportunities in on an everyday basis. And that's a company called Integra Technologies. And we have about 15 students working out there, really testing real world products, right? I mean, products that are going to go in some of the things that we use on an everyday basis. Our students are going through there and testing and doing some other things. And so there's also some testing at NetApp that our students do, support tests on an everyday basis. NetApp is just behind me here on campus, and that's one of the unique things too. Is obviously we have all these opportunities for students and with industry partners. And one of the unique things is a couple of these industry partners are on campus, so you could have a job with a Fortune 100 company, going to school, walking 100 feet, and being at your place of employment. So, not a lot of areas or opportunities can be offered like that around here. And so, we've got about 15 different companies that we work with, and you can see some of the logos there, some of the same logos that Brian had that we work with on an everyday basis together and in parallel with. Overall, we've got about 300 students working for us at Ennovar at any given time. That's plus and minus a few. We do have students that will work for us during the school year and then go to a summer internship. We had one student that worked at Deloitte, actually. Jace worked at Deloitte throughout the year, fall and spring, and then he got an internship at Microsoft out in Seattle this summer. So he's up in Seattle. Another one, Vivian got a position at Amazon and robotics in Boston, and so we do have students that kind of move in and out on a everyday basis. And so roughly we always say about 300 opportunities. Some of the ones I wanted to point out, I talked about Integra Technologies a little bit. So they do failure analysis for some of their products. Our friends at 3S Engineering, kind of a small shop, but we do an AI artificial intelligence project there. So if anyone's interested in AI and some of the things that are coming up with that, it's a kind of a hot button topic in every aspect of industry and school and everything. And so we've got some students working on that. Zodiac Labs is actually a PC, gaming PC. And so one of the things our students doing are building those PCs, the gaming PCs. Zodiac Labs is a company out of Kansas City. And so, we're here they asked us, hey, you have some students that are interested in building PCs? And so, found a couple students. And so they're really enjoying that. And then obviously Spirit and Textron. As some of you may know in the Wichita area what that is, Textron Aviator Beechcraft, Cessna Beechcraft by Textron. They build small private aircraft. And then Spirit Aerosystems builds large commercial aircraft. They two of the largest employers in Wichita. Spirit's about 10,000 to 12,000, and Cessna is about 7 to 8,000 employees, I believe. And so we have some students working out there doing numerous things. Always like to bring up NetApp. NetApp is located right behind me on campus. I could probably almost throw a baseball to their building from where I'm sitting. And so they do some cloud storage stuff. I know I'm trying to think of the new Disney movie that they did. So they basically make all the storage for companies, and they do Disney and Pixar and some of those different areas. And so one of the movies that was just made, Elio, maybe I could be wrong on that. The new Disney movie, the entire movie is stored in NetApp products. So that our students are helping test products before they go live there. So just a smattering, like I said, of employers. We have about 15. There's about 10 up here. And so it's a really good opportunity. The one unique thing about Ennovar is what we do is we have students that work for 3 to 4 different organizations before they graduate. So we'll have a student maybe start at Textron Aviation in the level 1 help hangar. This is an example, of course. And then they're going to move to Wichita Public Schools and do some refreshing of some of their computers there. And then they've got enough experience, 2 years experience full, as a part-time employee. And then they're going to move into Deloitte to be, a smart factory liaison, right? Or they're going to move into NetApp because they want to do some software development. So all five or six of the things I talked about on the previous slide, we'll have students that go in and out of every single one of those as they go through their time at Wichita State. You as a student, you're going to come into Wichita State, hopefully kind of having an idea what you want to do. And I'm sure you've heard the stats of changing majors and interests and things like that. And it's bound to happen for some of you. And so we have the ability with a diversified employer pool, a company pool, to really help our students move in and out. And so to find the best opportunity for them, because we know that no matter what, things are going to happen at different places and you're going to change this. So we want to make sure the right opportunity fits every student out there as best we can. So what skills basically would you learn at NetApp, right? So one of the things we're big on is making sure our students are learning at all times. And we want to make sure our students are growing and learning in the areas that they want to learn as well. So top skills learned by our students, and this last spring. We didn't have everyone respond, but it's pretty close. It's a pretty good idea. So obviously, you could see the biggest pieces of communications. You would think it'd be like cybersecurity or programming or hard skills, but the biggest area, the top skills that people learn are communication and workplace readiness, and that's a huge bonus for us. As you graduate from Wichita State, you know, our industry partners tell us we want students that are going to be ready for the workforce, right? We want students that are able to communicate. We can teach them cybersecurity. We can teach them, how to be a full stack developer, what may have you. But it's very difficult for us to teach them communication skills. And so that's where we come in as Ennovar and Wichita State University. And we feel we do a really, really good job of this, really integrating our students into the workforce at the time that they're ready as well. But we want our students engaged with full-time folks, right? So if you're working at Textron Aviation and they're help hanger, there's a chance that you may get an executive sitting across from you needing help on their laptop, right? We've had that happen before as far as, a freshman student that was there for a couple weeks. All of a sudden, here comes the chief operating officer from Textron, you're right. So there are those opportunities that you're gonna be put into, and what better time to try that out, right? As a student, to keep doing that. And so these are just, like I said, some of the skills you'll learn. And really, I talked about training earlier. It's up to you what you learn as well, right? So we have different opportunities for trainings throughout the year. We can help students training. We have obviously access to LinkedIn Learning as a student at Wichita State, and we use that as Ennovar. If you're, hey Mark, I'm really struggling. I've done a good job of working in this area, but I really think I need to be a better presenter and better at communication. How can I do that, right? So we're going to help you. We're going to find a training for you, or even find an industry partner that you can go to talk to. And so it's a really valuable piece of what we do here at Ennovar. Here's it real quick. Some of the alumni I talked about, Devonte and Hannah, both worked at Ennovar during their time at Wichita State University. Devonte worked at Textron and then became a cybersecurity analyst. And then Hannah worked I believe, in accounting here at Sedgwick County. And now she's graduated and working full time there at both of those places. And so, always like to highlight our alumni. Our alumni are doing great things. Like I said, we've been around for about 14 years as Ennovar, and so our alumni are doing some crazy cool things. And I always say, Devonte and Hannah both started out very similar to where you all are, right? They were freshmen or sophomores, kind of thinking they want to do accounting, kind of thinking like, yeah, I think cybersecurity or computer science is good for me. I'm going to try it out. And then Hannah had the one position the entire time. Devonte moved around a little bit, but eventually found his home in cybersecurity and was able to then obviously roll that into a full-time position. And so something, if he wasn't at Wichita State and didn't have that opportunity to really explore his career prior to graduating, I don't think he would have landed in the spot that he did, but he was able to explore, find some things that he likes, and then obviously able to grab a job at Credit Union America here in Wichita. So yeah, and then how do you join, right? So what are some next steps that we do? So in Navarre, we do hire students when they're ready, right? So we do hire students as freshmen. Even sometimes we've hired high school seniors before incoming. Not for all of our positions, but a vast majority of our positions are able to be we're able to hire, I'm trying to think of a word there, hire any students into those positions for a vast majority of our positions at Textron and or um, Spirit and some other ones. You don't have to be computer science major. I know I've said computer science, IT a lot. We hire any major. We want to um, make sure that if you're interested in working, we know that sometimes we need a position uh, to pay for school and things like that. Most of our starting wages are right around $14 to $15 an hour. Um, we do merit increases throughout the year. So we treat this just like you would a full-time position that you're getting. We do evaluations for students, and so we see that as really how do we develop our students to be better employees of the future. We kind of look at ourselves and say, well, if we're not doing it, then when should we? So we do, like I said, one-on-ones. We do merit increases. We really try to make this an opportunity that seems like a full-time position so that when you graduate, you're ready to go. So you can see the QR code there. Feel free to scan it. The email Ennovar managed services at wichita.edu. Feel free to email that as well with your resume or questions. I will put my email as well in the chat. Just so you guys can have it if you have any questions. Um, yeah, so you have some contact information for that. Like I said, we do hire students at all times of the year, all students at all times of the year. We have our big hiring usually at the beginning of the year. Like Brian said, we got a couple career fairs coming up that we'll be at. Obviously as summer goes back, students go back to 20 hours instead of 40 hours. We have to pick up a few more hours on some other places, and so. Yeah, I don't. As far as content, I don't really have anything else to go through. If you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the chat or raise your hand. I don't know, Brian, if you want to facilitate questions or not. Feel free.
Yeah, I can help facilitate
Okay.
questions. We
Okay.
already have a really good one here in the mark
Yeah. Hmm.
in the chat, Mark, and
Okay.
so I'll answer this one, I think, on your behalf. So,
Okay.
is paid applied learning applicable for work study students? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. So, one of the wonderful things about work study is that it opens up, if you're eligible for it, it opens up more departments and more jobs that you can be considered for as a WSU student. So a better question to ask would be like, are these eligible for non-work study students at Ennovar? And yes.
Mhm.
So Ennovar hires regardless of your work study eligibility.
Mhm.
And so, yes, feel free to apply. Please apply. Don't even feel
Yeah.
free. Apply,
Yeah.
use this
Yeah.
QR code and do it now.
Yeah.
Um, as we're waiting for additional questions, and let me minimize the chat so I can see if anybody's got their hand raised. I'll just re-emphasize a point that you made, Mark, which is that students, and for everybody on the call right now, like pay attention to this. You don't have to be an IT major,
Mhm.
okay? You don't have to be pursuing a degree in computer science or cybersecurity or engineering or some sort of technical degree. Ennovar has hired students and hires students across all colleges at Wichita State University, across all majors. And
Mhm.
so a question that you should ask is like, is this something that's interesting to me?
Mhm.
Um, is this something I could think about pursuing a long-term career in, or is it something I just even want to try out?
Mhm.
They require zero skill set, as Mark pointed out.
Yeah.
You will receive all the training you need. What Mark is looking for, I think, in candidates is interest, aptitude,
Mhm.
and eagerness, uh, and ability to what we call workplace behaviors, right? So can you show up to work on time? Can you be there on a stick to a particular schedule?
Yep.
All those kinds of things, I think, and Mark, you can elaborate on it a little bit, but that's what'll make you successful. And so it's what would make you successful at any job,
Yep.
frankly.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yeah. And we've hired in the last year, I just calculated this the other day. We did hire someone from all seven schools, including the honors college last year. And like I said, most of our positions, yes, they may be related to IT, but there's a lot of different areas that we um, hire students in. And yeah, employers ask us, our folks we work with all the time, hey, we're looking for a student. Okay, we'll say, okay, what are you looking for? Right? They'll never say, hey, I need this student most of the time, never it's like, hey, I need this student that's really, 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 really good at Linux or Python or CATIA, right? It's more of, I just need a student that can show up to work on time, I can trust, and I know is going to be a hard worker, right? And those are the things that we continue to try to relay to our students and feel like as they leave Innovar, they're prepared to do that.
Mark, I don't know if you can see the chat, but we
Yeah.
have several coming in, so I might throw a couple of them here at you at the same time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, yeah, so you just touched on this. Does Ennovar and the other companies that Ennovar works with, do they expect someone who knows how to do something already, or someone who's willing to learn the position? So in that example you just
Yeah.
gave, I think
Mhm.
is a perfect illustration of that. We need someone who knows Python.
Yeah.
Uh, we're going to source from the students that we've trained in
Mhm.
Python, and we're going to continue to train other students in Python.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those students have already been working for you in these different areas, whether it's at the Textron Aviation Help Hangar or elsewhere,
Yeah.
uh, while they're gaining and learning those skills. So to get started, no, you need zero skill set.
Mhm. Mhm.
There are opportunities that will present themselves and become available once you develop certain skill sets
Mhm. Mhm.
through Ennovar. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really good.
Correct.
Um, Again, we have another one. Any sort of prior work experience?
Mhm.
None, I
Mhm.
think is fair to say, Mark.
Yeah, that's
Um,
yeah, totally fine. And we actually, at some of the places like the help hangar or the IT services that we have at Spirit, some of the best students that we've seen have experience in fast food or general customer service experience. If you were to break it down, what's the one area that you could have experience in that would maybe lead me to success? And it's that customer service skill set that's always going to be a valuable skill set to Innovar, but also to our industry partners as well.
That's huge. We touched on that earlier in the presentation, communication being a key
Yep.
skill to develop while you're a student here at WSU. So your ability to talk to people, to present over a conference call like this or in front of a group of people. Here's an interesting question. So, are there any jobs that could benefit or help an elementary education major? And so I can think of one partnership that you have that could be
Mhm.
really beneficial, but in general, maybe, I see general applications to working with and training people and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes, any of them, like I said, could be customer service based. Obviously, how to deal with people with our level one Textron Aviation level one help hanger. USD 259 as well. We have students working there. It is in the IT space a little bit, but it's on an everyday basis going through helping with laptops, technology, helping set up classroom technology. And so could be something that elementary education might not be technical to your area as far as curriculum and things of that nature, but it could be helping maybe on the physical side of your opportunity as a teacher as you graduate and things like that.
So here's an interesting question. Is there an opportunity to work abroad with Ennovar? I'll take a crack at that. Um, so Ennovar, I don't believe, has any students that are working outside of the United States.
Hmm.
However, uh, I'm sure that Ennovar is very open to students who take a semester off to do a study abroad,
Absolutely. Yes.
and would uh, do everything they could to make sure that that student had a place to
Yes.
come back to once they completed their study abroad program.
Yes. And one of the things we tell students as the fall and spring semester kind of close up and spring semester closes up is in the nicest way, we want you to get out of here. We want you to go experience things, right? We want you to go. We don't want you to be, you're still college students, you're still young, right? If you want to go explore an opportunity at study abroad and or goes, talk about a summer internship. I talked about Jace going to Seattle earlier. Go
Mhm.
do that, right? That's one of the best things that our students do is get that different experience, get that different knowledge. If you want to bring it back to Ennovar, that's great. But we're going to be here and we want to promote you as a student to continue going. And if it comes to that where, hey, I'm going to leave for a summer, but I really want to stay coming back, we'll absolutely hold your spot for you to make sure as you come back to Ennovar in the fall, or maybe it is study abroad for a fall and spring semester, that next summer, whatever that next semester is, we'll have an opportunity for you to stay in that position. But so yeah, nothing totally abroad. We do have a couple students working. We do have students working some remote stuff, so they'll work. They're here in Wichita, but they'll work for with folks in Georgia and or Arizona. But for the most part, yeah, our positions are going to be in the general area of Wichita.
So just a couple more questions and then we can begin to wrap up. So we have a couple questions about opportunities specifically for cybersecurity and what those jobs actually might look like, Mark.
Mhm. Mhm.
Are you able to speak to that at all?
A little bit, yeah. So we help staff the cybersecurity operations center at Spirit, and I won't go too into detail what they do, but obviously we do have level one and level two folks out there that are on an everyday basis, you know, trying to uh trying to bounce around what I can say and what I can't say. But they're doing level one, level two cybersecurity. There we do have folks as well at Koch Industries, and then we do have folks at Textron Aviation doing cybersecurity. Some of those are a little bit different. I would say the highest the security area is probably Spirit Aerosystems that we have students in. We have about 12 students doing that. You have the ability to go from a level one to a level two, which is the big thing within Innovar. And then there are opportunities beyond that. But yes, so we do have students working in cybersecurity. There are other projects associated with that as well that those specific students can get involved in, and only specifically for some of those cybersecurity students. But yeah, there are ample opportunities in that area, and that's one of the areas that you talk, Brian. We talk about what areas can you get into, and that's an area that they got to have a little bit of upper tier experience in to get those positions with cybersecurity, and so those are extremely competitive. But once you get those opportunities, they're very, very lucrative, and our students have had a really good success rate of getting further offers from employers with that.
That's great. So I'm double checking the chat here.
Mm.
Oh, this is the final question. This is a really
Right.
interesting question. And then I'm going to go into some questions about the application link. So,
Okay.
what demand is there for multilingual employees speaking Spanish, French, etc.?
Yeah. That's a very
Is that a big need or is there a niche need? If so, it's not something that I've heard about specifically
Yeah,
within the bar.
so it's interesting. What we found out is it's kind of a tool in your tool belt as far as an employee, right? Uh,
Mm,
Kind of like if you're I'll speak in the computer science realm because there's probably maybe a few, or if you have a coding language, right? Is Linux, Python, C++, right? Um, Bilingual Spanish and Portuguese would be another tool in your tool belt to use as an employee going into, let's say, an application pool, right? If there's six of us in a pool, and I've got an opportunity that five of us have a very, very similar languages, but one of us can speak Spanish, and there's an opportunity that we may be working with bilingual folks on a project, then absolutely that's a deal breaker. We haven't seen people coming rushing to us saying, "Oh, I need a bilingual student. I need a bilingual student." But there have been opportunities at Fully Equipment. We did have one where they were scheduling. Um, Interviews, right, with folks, and they didn't have anyone to speak Spanish, and so they came to Wichita State and said, "Hey, do you guys have a bilingual student that can help us schedule?" And obviously we had that, and she was able to get hired actually full time this past summer, so which is really cool to see. So there was, like I said, there's no one rushing, but it is something to don't like forget about it, or don't diminish. Let everyone know that you're bilingual, because there are opportunities that could help you be in different spaces than someone that's not. If that makes sense.
That's a great example, Mark. And I'm
Yeah.
going to give the last question
Here, Wade's
here
got his hand up
to
there.
Mr. Wade Larson because he was bold enough to raise his hand and share his cameos. So I think, Wade, I'm going to unmute you, or can you unmute yourself and ask the question, please? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
Okay. So I'm a finance major
cool.
and I'm a third year and I'm looking to
Okay.
do something in that realm of finance and corporate. And I
Okay.
was just wondering like what those positions look like and if there's more requirement for experience in the corporate realm because I
Mhm.
don't have very much.
Yeah. 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 So at the moment, one of the opportunities that kind of went by the wayside for us, we did have an accounting finance position, kind of like I said, go by the wayside for us at Ennovar this past summer. So there might not, we don't have anything currently for finance, accounting. Now I will say we encourage students to get involved at any level, at any position, and this can go for everyone. Wade's finance, accounting. He could be hired into our level one aviation and Brian, yeah, aviation help hanger. And Textron Aviation has an accounting and finance department. And so, way you could go into our help hanger for a while, and then we would, use our connections, and say, hey, Wade's an accounting finance major. Do you have any opportunities? And as Wade's growing, making connections at Textron Aviation, hopefully those opportunities at Textron continue to grow, and there's opportunities in the right time, and that's how you kind of make that fit and hopefully get that opportunity. And so, kind of a two-sided answer there for you, Wade, as far as not great opportunities in regards to finance for Innovar. That doesn't mean there's not at Wichita State. And Brian raised his hand; he might know about a
Yeah.
few, but there are opportunities to get involved
I
at
have
some
some
point.
nuance to that answer, Wade. So Mark is right. There are a lot of different career fairs and other things, which I'll share in a second, where you can get access to direct, maybe those specific
Yeah.
opportunities in accounting and finance. However, what I will say as it relates to Innovar is that as we visit with Koch Industries, CPA firms like Allen Gibson Hulick, Pinion, Forvis, uh, Deloitte, KPMG, some of these major accounting and finance companies, one of the things that they pointed out to us is, wow, accounting as a profession has really changed over the last 10 years and really rapidly over the last 5 years. And if
Mhm.
you go to our accountants now today, it's almost like they're software engineers who also know accounting, right? So the kinds of skills that you're going to pick up in the IT space, the kind of programming languages, things that basically Innovar pays you to learn,
Mhm.
could end up being really valuable when you go to secure that position with a Forvis, with a Allen Gibson Hulick, with a Koch Industries. The fact that you know accounting and also know some of these software languages is going to set you up, uh,
Yeah.
probably put you up a level. One of the things that's really popular right now is within our Department of Accounting at Wichita State, our accounting program. It is very popular for our students to double major in accounting and management of information systems, or at least get a minor in management of information systems, just because of the way that the field of accounting is going. People no longer use paper ledgers, to do the accounting books, so to speak. They do those using software,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
so your ability to navigate, manipulate, to create your own macros, your own, whatevers. I'm not an accountant. Uh, is going to set you apart. So I think that's a really uh, good reason to consider, especially an entry level opportunity with Ennovar. So
Mhm. Mhm.
um, we are okay. I was about to wrap up, but Tristan
Yeah.
put this thing in here about opportunities
Oh yeah.
through Innovar for aerospace engineering majors.
Mhm.
Yes, I mean through the collaborations they have with Spirit Aerosystems, Textron Aviation.
Mhm.
Um, you have a front row seat to the air capital of the world.
Yep.
So while you're
Yep.
not doing aerospace engineering necessarily with Ennovar, you are going to be working at aerospace companies, which again, provides your foot in the door. So I'm going to try to wrap us up, Mark.
Okay, that's fine.
One of the things that we've gotten comments about is the jobs link. So the QR link right here, for some people, they say they're having issues with it, scannable. So Julie went ahead, our colleague Julie Sanders here went ahead, and I'm grateful to her. She dropped the general application for the Ennovar position on WSU's WooHire site for students to apply to.
Hmm.
But if you have another link that you'd like to drop in the chat, I'll give you an opportunity to do that here.
Yeah, I have one on my phone, but I probably can't get it to the, yeah. Well,
That's okay. You can,
yeah.
and you can
So,
quick
yeah,
Teams
so
it
I
to
will,
me or whatever.
yeah. And I will say, if you want that Innovar managed services email, the same people that are going to see the applications that you submit are going to check the email, right? So it's the same folks for our operations team. So if you're not able to, you can also go to, I think we have our posting on Shocker Central, I believe, if they have that. But yes, and it should be, if you go to jobs.wichita.edu, it's called the Innovar General Application, that we have it's all of our opportunities are in one. So basically, we just have one job posting throughout the year. And so we won't really post too much of different opportunities. We'll, tweet them out, do some social media stuff about them, but we just have usually one application for that. So
That's great. So that general applications opportunity or for Ennovar that Julie linked should work, as
yep,
well as this
yep,
Ennovar managed services at wichita.edu.
yep,
So Mark, if you want to unshare your screen, I'll wrap us up, and you might even drop that
yeah,
email in the chat. They have your email, which is probably better than anything else they could have.
yeah.
Um, and I'll kind of wrap us up very, very quickly here with some action items for students if they want to see you in person.
Hmm.
So let me share this screen. Whoops, let me get this going. Meant to share here we go. Can you see this presentation now? Okay, so really grateful for Mark to mention a couple of events coming up. We have phenomenal events at Wichita State University hosted by the Shocker Career Accelerator and others. Ennovar will be at a few of them coming up. So the first one, most immediate, is just in like 3 weeks. It's the on-campus job fair here at the top of this slide, hosted in the here in the Marcus Welcome Center at Wichita State University on August 12th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. The next one that they will be at is the Career Connection Root Beer Kegger from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. here on WSU's campus. And then they will also be at the Engineering and IT Career Fair on September 18th. So those are some really cool events where you can see Mark and the Ennovar team face to face, have a conversation, say, hey, I applied, curious if you got it, I'm ready to get to work. Now, this is important because for the details of these career fairs, you need to make sure your WSU, if you haven't already, your WSU email is set up, all that kind of stuff. If you have questions about it or like, where is this event specifically, just shoot me an email, brian.austin@wichita.edu or sca@wichita.edu. I'll have a slide with that information up at the end. But I also want to make sure you guys are aware of this kind of enrollment checklist here. So if you are a senior in high school and you're getting ready to attend Wichita State University in the fall, again, the email thing is at the very top. So make sure to set up your MyWSU account through mywsu.wichita.edu. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you do your FAFSA stuff at studentaid.gov. If you're living on campus, make sure everything is squared away with housing. One of the things our students can do that are living on campus is meet classmates and other residents living in the dorms here on campus, the residence halls through Zeme, this really cool app for that. So wichita.edu/Zeme. If you're a freshman student, make sure you complete the pre-enrollment questionnaire at wichita.edu/orientation. And transfers, just meet with your advisor. Again, you can set that up through wichita.edu/orientation. Review and confirm your fall schedule. Because one of the things that Mark is going to ask when they do that initial interview is, hey, so glad you applied. When are you available to work? Right?
Yep.
And if you don't know your fall schedule, you can't answer that question. Okay. Um, and then get ready because August 18th, that's day one, first day of school. So we're excited to have you here. I'm going to leave you with this last slide. I said, a lot of you have my email address, or all of you should because you got the invitation for this event from me, brian.austin@wichita.edu. Um, Other questions generally, this is our contact information. We have our phone number there, extension 3688. I also encourage you, if you have not, it's the very last thing that I want to leave you with, is if you have not set up your profile on Shocker Central yet, do that. That's wichita.edu/Shocker Central. If you are, and you can do that if you are an incoming freshman or a transfer student, you should be able to do that by now, uh, if you've gone through orientation or if you're already enrolled. So if you have trouble with that, let me know. But Shocker Central is our online jobs board uh, for and our platform for helping students engage with employers. So you'll find jobs posted from folks like right now. I think we have opportunities with those accounting firms you mentioned, Wade. We have one posted there with Morrow Company. We have opportunities in with a lot of local nonprofits, Kansas Leadership Center, Envision, other folks like that. And locally and beyond, it's your ticket to kind of apply to everybody that's recruiting at Wichita State University, including Ennovar's jobs. They'll be in there too. So get in that system. If you have any trouble, just shoot me an email or give us a call. Um, I think that is it.
Mhm.
Mark, we will record this. We'll put this up on YouTube. So if the students on here have any questions, you can refer back to that. I think I'll be able to send out a link to everyone who is registered for this so they can watch it again. Mark, do you have any parting thoughts to leave us with?
I don't. I don't. I look forward to seeing you all hopefully at some of our career fairs coming up. Don't be shy to, email myself or Brian. We want to help you guys out get opportunities, right? And so I would say don't be shy about that or reaching out to any of our managed services and or the career office. We're here to help you guys succeed. And hopefully that's through employment, but sometimes that's through other avenues at the university. And so look forward to seeing you hopefully on campus sometime this fall. And if not, have a great rest of your summer.
See you on campus. Have a great rest of your summer. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Thank you.